Welcome to another episode of Marriage Evolves podcast, where here you will be equipped and empowered with the tools that you need to be a better individual in your relationship. Tonight, we have something so amazing and special for you. How many of you guys have ever dealt with marital burnout? I know I have, and I'm sure my husband has because he was prior military, but that's a whole nother story. So right now I am getting ready to bring on my special featured guest. But before I do that, I want to remind you, don't forget to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where there you can hit the notification button and know when we are going live all the time. We are constantly giving you information that is needed to help you become better as a team. But again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that tonight, okay? And then also go to our YouTube and our Facebook, because we are there as well. And we have other things coming up. But let's get into the PTO. We're getting ready to peel this onion back and have this amazing conversation with my girl, Dr. Constance. Let's bring her on right now.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Hello, Coach Roshawn.
How are you tonight?
I am doing well. How are you out there in Cali?
Girl, hey, in the CLA, Cali.
You know, next time I will be there. I promise.
Well, we got to make that happen.
Yeah, we got to make that happen, because time zones, it's time to go to bed here at 8:30.
Oh, we still early yet over here. It's early. Big time early.
I know, but yeah.
I am so excited that you accepted my invitation to come and have this conversation with our community. Let me tell you, we just gonna have that straightforward conversation like we had when we were in Colorado.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So let's just wipe those nerves down just a little bit.
Yeah, let's go. That was deep back there in Colorado, so let's go.
It sure was. So can you just share with our community a little bit about who is Dr. Constance and what do you do?
That'll be short. I am simply a mom and a wife, of all the things that I do and the many hats that I wear. Those are the titles that I carry. And I'm just a woman out here trying to be the best version of me. And I love both of those. I love being a mama. I love being a wife above everything else I do. So that's me in a nutshell. It doesn't get any real than that. I don't change. I'm not a chameleon. You know what I mean? What you see today is what you get. You know what I mean? So hey, mama and wifey. That's it for me, baby. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that I love about you from the day that I met you is because I've never had a moment where we were on the phone or anywhere and we weren't in tears, in tears because we was laughing so much.
I know.
Laughing because of the conversations that we've had, just acting up.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I thoroughly took to when I first met you.
Yeah.
But girl, you ready to rock on with this PTO?
Girl, let's grow. We're in the growth season. Let's grow. Yes, let's do it.
Yes, we are. One of the things that we talked about when we were in Colorado was marital burnout and how serious that issue is. And many people, they really don't understand it. They just get used to it and just call it the norm. And as I was doing my studies, it blew me away when the statistics stated it was 63.81% since 2020, where men and women are literally burnt out, not just from marriage, but from work, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how it impacts the relationship. So in your field as Dr. Constance,
you better stop.
Doctor, in your field, Can you share some points of what you have seen and experienced yourself with marital burnout?
Yeah, most definitely. Being dual husband and wife in the military, you already have those external stressors. All right. And for me as a woman, the stress of having to have so many hats, the mother, the wife, um, the different hats you are at work, whether I was a supervisor, whether I was a counselor, it was just various hats that caused so much burnout until what I found myself doing was working Monday through Friday without communicating that. And so those 5 days turned into 30 days where I hadn't had a moment to share everything that was going on. It could be so simple like, this is what happened in a day. And
Mm-hmm.
so we were both military. We were like this. We were passing each other. Hey, how you doing?
Wow.
Doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing okay. Kids okay? Kids okay. We were passing each other. We
So
had
you
to,
told me that both of y'all was in the military?
oh God, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
And it was very difficult trying to navigate through all of that and then navigate you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And being that women are more emotionally driven,
Yes.
that was hard for me. It wasn't like, and let's be clear, relationship burnout doesn't mean you don't love that partner. Okay.
I'm
Let's be
glad that you
clear
mentioned.
about that. Yeah, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean your marriage is over. It just means, to me, it's like a red flag. You reached a point where, hey, somebody got to pause and make the time, be intentional about
Mm-hmm.
making the time just for you, not you talking about the kids, talking about how we're going to pay the bills, but for you. And that was a challenge for me.
Girl, we're gonna take it bit by bit,
Okay.
okay? Because you said something where I have noticed just from counseling couples from state to state, because we were prior military as well,
Okay.
we found how people became so accustomed to pouring and doing for the kids and for work and all of that, but they weren't doing anything for their relationship at all. But they never identified it as them being burnt out, period. How would you be able to communicate this to a spouse that really doesn't listen?
Wow. That's a big one.
Yes.
Um, when you have a spouse that doesn't listen, for me, that is saying a spouse that doesn't want to take accountability. Just because we want to talk about something that's different in the marriage doesn't mean that the partner is unhappy in the marriage. It just means that you're taking a moment to say, hey, babe, we got to talk. What I'm feeling right now is what I've been feeling for like 3 months now, maybe. So we just got to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, over the years, Coach Roshawn, I have talked to so many singles as well as married to say that their partner doesn't want to listen or their partner blows up if a topic is brought up and they said, I just can't talk to him or I just can't talk to her. And so ultimately what that does is open up a window because the enemy only needs a crack. So, but it opens up a window for other things to come in. And I'm not talking about anything major. I'm talking about, oh, they might pick up a hobby of golfing all day and then you don't know where your man is all day. Or a woman may pick up a hobby of, I'm gonna be a shopaholic all day. And all you're doing is releasing stress in the wrong way. You're still not talking.
So you're releasing stress through all of these other avenues on top of being burnt out, on top of
Yeah.
not communicating, um, and not knowing exactly what is going on with your spouse. And then you add not listening.
And then you add not listening. So then you've just added another layer to a situation that everybody in the household is ignoring.
And
And
we're
oh,
not.
by the way, when you're thinking, oh, the kids won't notice, oh, but they do. They
Yes.
notice our mood changes, our mood swings, our triggers. Kids are very brilliant and bright in the household.
Mhm.
They know when something's not right with mama and daddy. And
So
so, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You said something there, and I kind of want to give some insight here for who may be watching tonight that is in that place of marital burnout, but they don't know how to communicate it. What would be a tool, communication tool that you could give them to help them talk to their spouse? Hey, I'm really not okay. I am burnt out in these areas because I have the kids, I have you, I have my work, I have all of these entities, I have church, I have all these stuff going on. What communication styles or avenues could you give them?
The first communication style I would give them is to be more of an active listener than a
Woo!
passive talker. Be an active listener instead of being a passive talker, because somebody got to listen. And when I say active, I mean you're listening not just with your ears, you're listening to me in my heart. Because not all the time can I call a therapist at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock at night when I'm
Yeah.
having a meltdown. So
Mhm.
I want you to actively hear me
Without responding.
without responding. Just let you know how I'm feeling. And if we're both honest with each other, whether you're
Mhm.
single or married, if you can't talk to the person now, if you're single, big red flag that is not going to change
Ooh,
when you get married.
tell me about it. And
Okay.
we're going to deviate just a little bit
Okay.
because there are many red flags of burnout that people do not pay attention to when they are dating because they accept it as maybe I can change them or things will change after we say I do. What does that look like through with the conversations with Constance on your platforms with women in that arena?
Oh, wow. I'll stay PG because I don't know who's out there, because mine in collective, we talk about it all. What I would say is ultimately we got the equation wrong. We're
Mm,
thinking we need to change the other person. But when it is that you're engaging in a relationship, whether you're married, engaged, or whatever, you're bringing all of that past trauma from all of them other relationships and all the other times and conversations that you didn't have. You're bringing it over now to the new relationship. And then
mm.
ultimately, you're bringing those spirits over into the relationship that haven't been dealt with. So it's not going to get any better. And
Mm.
so I tell people all the time, the biggest person that you can change that will have a permanent impact is you
Mhm.
first.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't look for your husband to give you the joy and the happiness. All right. Because there's some childhood trauma. There's a little girl in there that needs to talk to somebody. And then you're looking to your spouse upside his head because
Mhm,
you've given him a greater expectation than what you've been accustomed to. I'll
mm,
use myself. Case in point, grew up without a father.
mhm.
All right. So ultimately, I'm looking for a lot of stuff. I'm looking for the father. I didn't go to the prom. My daddy didn't take me to the prom. I didn't have all of those things. So you're bringing all of that over. And before I could even get it to him, the light bulb had to come on in my head. Constance, you need to get some type of therapy for yourself. And I'm not talking about girlfriend therapy, Dr. And Coach Roshawn. I'm talking about
Oh, you can say doctor if you want to. It's gonna
girl
come.
house speaking into existence. And I'm not talking about um this one-on-one therapy from people who think we need professional help.
Yes, I
And there's
agree.
nothing wrong with knowing that it is okay. And
Mhm,
that's not like a colloquialism that I say. It's one that's out there culturally, but I
mhm.
mean it. It's nothing wrong with it's not okay. It's okay if you're not okay.
I actually love that you even mentioned that because when you are an individual that's dealing with all of these different levels of baggage that you carry on top of what we're talking about the burnout. You do need someone there to help you both unpack these suitcases full of dead bones that's weighing you down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And someone come and help you what is the word I want to use? De oh, I always have a problem with this word, decompartmentalize. I have to say it slow.
Yeah, that big word.
Yes, all of these areas of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, with that, how can a couple rebalance themselves with their emotional and instability from all of the burnout?
I would suggest to any couples therapy is fine, but
Mm-hmm.
couples therapy is for couples. I would say when the times are okay, like burnout means I'm past the fire, I'm extinguished. When the spark comes, when we start to feel in some type of way, don't wait
Yes.
till it's a complete storm. My recommendation to anybody, it's okay to get therapy if you think it's okay right now. You know what I mean? I think we're okay. I think our bills are being paid. I think the kids are fine. That's probably the perfect time to get therapy, because ultimately when we're in there to work on something and unpack those dead bones, that's when we hear things like, boy, you did that. Girl, you did that. And then we start to hold each other hostage to our past when we really should have been talking about those things to begin with.
Girl, you are saying some good things right now. And I just want to highlight this part because I wrote this down. Burnout is when a spouse reaches a state of total mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion. And that's what you're talking about, is when they get to that point and need that help. But you don't want to wait till you get to that point.
No.
You can get marriage coaching therapy before the issues come, because then you will have the tools you need to walk through the process that you're walking through.
Think about it. It's not even difficult. Think about your body. You don't wait, or you shouldn't, until you have an issue. No.
Nope.
The world, culture, as the young people say, you're supposed to get a physical every year.
Yes.
So if I get that physical every year, and then I do that complete blood test screen, or whatever it's called, for all of my nurses and medical people out there, for whatever, when they do all of that on that panel, they're letting me know right then what could be wrong. And so if you got a spouse that's not listening, don't want to listen, I don't want to hear it, all right, and then you're trying to maneuver through that, you can't help yourself by yourself. Not when you're in a marriage.
Say that again.
You cannot help yourself by yourself. When you in a relationship, marriage, or whatever, it takes two all the way. Just like it takes two in the bedroom, it takes two to make it work outside of that. Just like it takes two when we get ready to get married. And let me throw this in there too, Roshawn. One of the things that I think will help us out with burnout is, I think we that are believers, our churches have a responsibility, right? Churches will open up their door all day long. They got an open door policy to get married. You don't even have to be a member at some people's church to get married. If you got $1,000, $1,500, whatever they charging, you can just go get married. They got an open door policy for marriage, but they got a closed door policy for divorce. So we go back to the world for the divorce, but we come to the church for the marriage. That makes no kingdom sense. It ain't hard.
That makes no kingdom sense when we're supposed to be
building
building kingdom marriages and kingdom relationships that can handle these burnout issues that these relationships and couples are having, and teaching them and giving them the principles that they need.
Because you know what? What I wish I would have known, just knowledge-wise, years ago, marriage is a covenant. It ain't no contract. It ain't like signing a contract for a car or a house. It is a covenant. And if I treat it like a covenant, I'm going to treat my spouse like he matters. I'm going to look at him through kingdom eyes, even when things are not good or whatever. Everybody knows, even mine, right? For those listeners out there, there is no perfect marriage, but in the equation, there is a perfect God. And if God is my common denominator in my marriage, he can handle my husband not talking, my wife not talking, we feeling each other, we don't want to be around each other, we're burnt out, we're stressed out. If God is my common denominator, people, why is it so easy? Why am I treating marriage like, oh, I was only married for 6 months and I'm gone? Why aren't we? Where's the stick and stay power?
The stickability.
It is the commitment before God.
Yes. I heard something this weekend that, you know, a marriage is like you and your spouse coming together, like you're the glue. I don't know if you can see this. You're the glue that in between, God is the glue in between you and your spouse, just like it is on the paper that you're putting together. And that's exactly what we need in our relationships, is God being in the middle, so he, or at the forefront actually, so he can be able to give us what we need so we can illuminate the burnout. We can be able to deal with the issues that come about. But I love something else that you said. You said this and it was like an aha moment for me. It was like, okay, girl, this is good. You said it some time ago in a previous conversation we had. You were doing, in the middle of you and your husband in the military, having all of these responsibilities, you said you were doing so many things, but perfecting none.
Oh, wow. Yes.
You were doing many things, but perfecting none. Could you unpack that a little bit?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about, burnout.
Look, girl, I did say that. I need to get that on a t-shirt or something. But yeah. What I was saying to those women out there who are juggling a whole lot of things, I was 50 different people in one, trying to be the best version of me to all of me. So I wasn't perfecting being a wife. I was failing being a mother, right? I wasn't there for my children all the time. That's something that I'm going to have to carry with me, because Lord knows I always wanted to be the best mom. But I was trying to juggle church, activities in the church. I was juggling a 9-to-5 job. I was juggling cantankerous people on those jobs.
Oh, girl.
And so the church was my safe haven until I started to deal with cantankerous people at the church. And I said, the one place that I got to do, God, I got to find safety. And God said, look at all of what you're talking about. You're missing me, Constance. I am your safety. And I'm telling you, I had this serious conversation with the Lord. I said, God, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. He said, don't you know I know that? But then you're not giving it all of it to that committed thing, because you're trying to be. You're leaving me out of the trying to be. So you're juggling all of this stuff, but you're not perfecting anything. Some of the stuff, Constance, and I'm telling you, this is what the Lord literally shared with me. He said, some of the stuff, Constance, you only giving 5%.
Wow.
You only giving 5%. So that whole self-check and self-awareness, when the Lord had that conversation with me, and he had to steal me, literally. The Lord had to steal me, because I was on 100 all the time. All right. So the Lord had to
I understand
to steal me. And it was in that quiet wilderness experience. That was the first time, because I've been in the wilderness here, you know. That's another story, another day. Look, I'm that girl. But that's when he talked to me the most, to say, I just need you to do one thing good, Constance. And I literally began to make a list, like, okay, I can't cook that good, so maybe I'll get a couple of recipes and maybe I'll cook one thing. Baby, I'm gonna tell you something. My husband and my kids were so tired of spaghetti, they didn't know what to do. But that was all I knew how to cook, girl. That was it.
The
Girl,
spaghetti with some chicken is a
girl,
good meal.
girl, I wouldn't even add in the chicken. My kids and my husband are like, oh God, again, spaghetti again.
But you're trying to perfect that thing.
But I had to perfect it. But guess who I had to go and perfect it with?
Mm.
My husband. My husband saw my agitation so bad. He said, baby, I will show you how to cook. My husband can cold-blooded cook anything.
Ooh, girl,
And
mine's
I had to set myself back because I felt like a failure. I said, you shouldn't be teaching me how to cook. Like
mhm.
when you get home, the meal should be prepared. But he said, baby, I keep telling you, I didn't hurt you.
Mm.
All I want to do is love you. And he taught me how to cook. And girl, now they got my head blowed up. I think I can cook a few. They ain't eating spaghetti.
What I'm hearing you say then, if we as individuals in these relationships will slow ourselves down and identify where we are emotionally burned out and allow God to speak to us, He will be in the midst of us coming out of this burnout.
Either God will slow you down. The object of the game is for you to slow
For
you down.
you to slow yourself
Right?
down.
But when the Lord slows you down, you got a lot of things going on there, Rashawn, because people are not going to understand the slowdown, right? They think the wilderness was just for Moses. It
Mm.
wasn't, right? All right. So the Lord will slow you down as he has done me on countless times to get
Several times.
several to get my attention so he can say, I'm not going to keep dealing with you on burnout. I've done that already. Now, he knows that I'm imperfect and he's going to have to deal with me on something else. But this
Yeah.
last time, 2023, when I had that incident and rushed to the emergency room out of nowhere and nobody knew what was going on, and I wake up and my children are there crying, my husband is there. It was crazy, sis. Nobody knew what was going on. I told my husband, I said, something happened when I passed out on the floor. And the Lord told me then, he said, I'm not going to deal with you on burnout again. Whether it's marriage, work, physical, you're going to have to prioritize.
But can I just interject right here?
Yes.
Do you believe that sometimes we can bring burnout on ourselves because we put so much on ourselves?
Oh, most definitely, because I tell people all the time, it might need to get done, but it don't need to get done by you.
Yeah.
Okay. I am a proponent. It's like a stickler for me. I believe in people staying in their lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know we're helpers by nature. We see something wrong and we want to help. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stuff like this. Coach Roshawn and my brother Rob, this is your baby, Marriage Evolve, right? I might have talked to 50 married people and 50 single people. Baby, I don't have a calling from God to do a marriage evolve. Does that make sense? And so,
Oh no, you might want to do it because you see somebody else.
because you see somebody else doing it, or
Yeah.
I want to do it because I want my name called. No, stay in your lane because you will cause more burnout on yourself. And God's sitting there looking at you. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to tell them that you was going to do that. You didn't seek me first. When the Lord says seek him first, sis, he means on everything. And I'm only saying this tonight to this audience because I had reached the burnout. You mentioned burnout happens emotionally, physically, psychologically, and mentally. I had reached all four of those. And so when we're sitting around trying to think we got to do everything, we're just busy doing busy work, and it is of no value. And then when I see my sister rising to the top, doing what God called her to do, then you're looking crazy when God has already said, I don't have a respect of person. She just decided to listen. She decided to listen.
In that quiet time, because we live in such a noisy world.
Noisy.
With so many things coming at you as a wife, coming at your husband as a husband, that tries to bring so much disruption. So if we never, as husbands and wives or those engaged, slow ourselves down and literally stop to hear, we can be in that place of falling out and don't even know why.
And don't even know why. And for the single people out there, if for those of you that are running around doing busy work, doing 50, 100, 11 things, I'm telling you, you're not even going to be prepared for marriage. The very month you get married, you're going to be burnt out because you're not dealing with it now. Nobody is that busy. Promise you. If I had to adjust my schedule, I'm telling you what I know.
Never.
Nobody is that busy to where we're not intentionally wanting to spend the time with our spouse. Burnout will cause you not to want to spend time with your spouse. You lose motivation. You're not attracted to each other anymore. You've made the kids and the schedule of work your norm. When people ask you who you are, you'll tell them your title before you tell them what you really represent, because that's what you're mostly connected to.
Exactly.
Right? And so you lose yourself and then you don't know who you are, right? The moment that I started this self-care journey, I'm going to tell you something.
That's a real journey that I have to do too.
Oh yeah. I had to realize, like, what color do I really like? Do I really like this food, or have I always just been going along with the flow? You'll start asking yourself some tough questions. And you got to learn to slow it down, because for those that are single that aspire to be married, this is your preparation phase.
Yes.
And you can't go in no marriage after a month and tell your husband you tired and you want to go to bed. I'm gonna tell you, that ain't gonna work. It doesn't work.
It really does not.
It doesn't work.
Not
you
unless
ain't to tell your husband, babe, I don't want to go nowhere this weekend, and you only been married for 2 months, right?
Prioritize.
Because your spouse, be it male or female, they don't deserve that.
Not at all.
Because that's not their trauma, that's yours.
Yes. But answer this though, because there again, we're talking to a variety of people tonight. And so with that, I want to make sure that we address a few things. Have you observed certain patterns with individuals of what burnout looks like? So say, for instance, if somebody doesn't know what it looks like, they may just think, oh, I just need to get something to eat. I'm tired, and that's it. What does that actually look like if it's not really dealt with?
Simple. Low self-esteem. You don't want to dress up. You want to go everywhere, looking any kind of way. It's comfortable, and you have made it your norm that I'm not going to comb my hair. I'm just going to run out here. And that's okay. I'm not saying that for every time. I'm saying in your mind, you have settled with this person of not wanting to do anything. Where is the life in you? God said that he would that we have life and have it more abundantly. That means in the overflow. So what happened to the life in you? It looks just like that. It's a fatigue type thing that you can't even explain. You think the highlight of your marriage is going to Walmart and Target with your husband on Saturday.
That's what it has narrowed down to. Walmart and Target.
Yeah, that's the highlight of my marriage. And then on Sunday, we're going to wash, clean up the house. And then on Monday, we're going to get right back up again and go to work, and nobody's talking.
But that's not it. That is, to me, signs that you have just settled in the burnout, and you've allowed it to become the new normal for you.
Yeah, it's the new norm, and it's the new norm that you have accepted, and you have made it a part of you until it feels so comfortable that you don't want to be uncomfortable. You are trying to function in dysfunction, and dysfunction and function ain't working for nobody. It will not work at the same time.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So you're just functioning. You're just existing, and you're really burnt out. And you're ignoring the tall tale signs, as people would say, because you don't want to, for several reasons, you don't want to start anything, or you don't want to hurt your partner's feeling, or you just don't want to realize that we have a problem.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say that we have a problem. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I'm gonna tell you a quick, short story. So me and my husband were having a discussion, a heated discussion.
A heated discussion.
When we were stationed in Hawaii, we were having a heated discussion, and I was like, okay, so I just started putting some clothes together because, mind you, we were getting ready to fly back to the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just putting the clothes together, folding the clothes. He walked on out the room, and then he came back and saw me folding the clothes. What you doing, Connie? What you doing? I said, just like this. I said, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm folding clothes. I'm packing clothes. He starts to pull his luggage out the closet. I'm going with you. I said, oh, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. You ain't going with me. You ain't going with me. You're the big boy now, right? You ain't going with me. And girl, before we knew it, we just started laughing. But that moment sparked us to have a conversation and communicate about our true feelings.
And that's an area that I believe, along with all of what we're discussing tonight, people don't understand the importance of communication. How else will your spouse know that you're burnt out, that you need help, that you need something from them? You haven't had sex in so long. You don't even know how to communicate with one another regarding what you really like and what they're doing that you really don't like. If we learn how to communicate effectively and listen, actively listen, we will have more healthier relationships than we've ever seen before. And that's something that my husband and I are really on a mission to do, is to give people the tools that they need to be able to handle all of these areas through learning how to communicate.
Yeah. And
without that, you're not going to be able to do anything that we're sharing with you if you don't communicate.
If you don't communicate, and I don't care where you go, even if you go to a therapist, you got to communicate. Yes. Even if you have an argument, when you all settle down, you got to communicate. Communication is the key to everything. It's like that midpoint of our horizontal and vertical relationships. There's this middle point, and it's communication that will stop the burnout, the things that are going on around us. Why? Because at the end of the day, Coach Roshawn, all of us are merely human. We can only do so much. So yes, I'm tired when I get home. No, I may not want to be intimate or be touched. You single people better take advantage of it, because you can just open the door. You ain't got to tell nobody nothing. You can sleep on the couch. You ain't even got to take a shower. You can just go on and go grab you a Happy Meal, lay down in the bed. A married person has to come home and explain what you tired of. Why you tired again? You tired again? I'm tired again. Yeah. We have to explain. Well, what kind of day did you have? I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't have that. And you know what? One of the key things that I will say too, and this is going to sound like a word that's a negative, but it's not. One of the key things to avoid the burnout is detachment.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in that detachment. I'm going to let you unpack that.
So what I mean by detachment is this. Don't lower your expectations, but accept them and keep it moving. Be intentional about, hey, babe, you want to go hang out with the boys this weekend? Hey, love, why don't you just go down on the beach and hang out? You got to be intentional about being detached, because absence really does make the heart grow fonder, along with a lot of other things. You know what I mean?
I mean, all the other things.
All the other things. We just got to be truthful and be, transparent. It's all the other things. You got to detach, because, and it's not just a military thing. Before we solve any problem, we're taught to step back. Mm-hmm. You take a step back and you analyze the situation. Well, I can't analyze the situation properly if I'm in it. Oh, he looking good right now. Oh, she looking good right now. But what happens on the day that you come home, hair all over her head, she hadn't cooked? What happens on the day when you come home and your husband is not fulfilling you the way that you think that he should? What happens then? Those are those things y'all need to be talking about not just when you're single, but you need to be intentional about talking. Like now, me and my husband empty nest and we talk about everything.
Oh, girl, yes, we sure do.
And I didn't know he could talk that much. Yeah, till the kids left, I didn't think he could talk that much. I'm like, good Lord, honey, I prayed for you to talk, but I'm gonna need to pray and reverse that for you to just bring it down a notch. Because baby, you on 10 all the time. And I just want to just be like, what? We watching a movie. Babe, you see that? Babe, I think this. And I'm like, boy, just calm down. Just calm down. It's okay.
Calm down a notch.
Calm down a notch, you know?
Yes. I have had the same thing with Mr. Roderick.
Oh,
because
no.
he just swears and declares that he's not a talker. And I said over the years, he has become a talker. But his talking has actually helped me learn how to calm myself down in those moments where I felt like what we're talking about tonight, those burnouts and those emotional burnouts and all of that. So I am so thankful because I myself had a breakdown more than one time for several reasons. And it was not an easy process to walk through, coming out of a burnout, coming out of not knowing, God, am I really going to be okay? Help my mind so I can be able to be the wife that I need to be for my husband. First of all, let me be the person I need to be for myself.
Yourself.
And then be able to be for my husband. But one of the things that I am so grateful for, that my husband, after he started understanding when I was having panic attacks and all these things, he began to, what is the word I want to use? He began to really get into me, to understand what was going on with me. Intimacy, into me, he see, you see.
I like that.
Yeah, he began to really see me and help me to understand what I need to do to come out of what I was in.
Right.
But it took some time. This generation, they don't have patience, they don't have time. But you're going to have time and patience to walk with whichever spouse is feeling this burnout, along with the communication.
Yeah, because ultimately what two people think is that their marriage is at a burnout point or about to fail because they're tired. What they don't realize is that it's not that your marriage is not making it because you're tired. It's because you're tired that your marriage ain't working.
And you're tired because you're working at it in the wrong way.
In the wrong way. You're trying to navigate this thing called life by yourself. And I'm going to tell you something, Roshawn. I say all the time, not just with my marriage, but even with my children, God is my actual common denominator.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not make it in this world without God being at the center of everything. And because he knows that we're not perfect, we got to get the help. That's like God saying, I got all this stuff down there for y'all to get the help, and y'all are ignoring it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind you coming to me.
Because the help take too much work.
It takes too much work.
Too much to get to.
So you got to ask yourself, how bad do you want it?
Ooh.
Do you want it to work through the process like what you talked about? Or do I want it to just go 15 minutes right on down to the courthouse? Because basically now you don't even have to do that. If it's irreconcilable differences, you can type it up yourself and send it in and take it in and get it stamped on. The world culture is making it so easy to walk away from covenant. And it doesn't matter whether you walked away from it or not. The point of the matter is that the baggage that you had is yourself all along. It's you that has to be dealt with. And you're trying to bring that in with a co-union with someone, and you both are trying to fight a battle that's really not yours to fight. And you got to get that single individual self-care. I would rather get the self-care than the couple's care for me, because it goes back to what you said. If I can get me right, then I know that I will be right for him.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if I don't ever get me right, then he's going to be like, what is wrong with you? I didn't do it.
And you're going to be all over the place. All over the place.
All over the place.
Yes.
We got to
But
make a deposit. We got to make
yes,
a deposit. I think of it like a bank account. If you put a small deposit in a bank account, it's going to help that bank account not overdraft or you burn out. So if you think about your relationship period,
yes,
like
ma'am.
a bank account, that means I'm going to take care of myself now. I'm going to deposit some
Yes,
intentional time of being with my mate. And more importantly, we're going to pray together. I'm not going to pray
yes.
individually. You're not
Mhm.
going to pray over here sometime in the week.
You gonna pray,
We're going to pray together. And
girl.
we
Yes,
will call it out together. Oh, woe is me. And while I'm saying woe is me, I'm gonna look over there at him. He gonna be like, woe is me too, babe. Yeah,
yes,
woe is me.
yes. And we are here tonight to help you not get into that negative when it comes to burnout. So Dr. Constance, I am so glad that you were able to come and join me on tonight. I thank you so very much. Listen, we could keep going on, but I know good and well we're going to have to just come back and do another conversation because you have been such a blessing to our community. And as always, where can people find you? I was in one of your conversational sessions. Please help me get it right.
Collective Conversations with Constance.
Yes, I
Um,
was in one and it was amazing. So please tell the people where they can find you.
yeah. Well, I think I want to be found now, I guess. I'm coming out of my shell. Help me, baby Jesus.
I'm coming out.
I'm coming out.
The
But
world.
Collective Conversations with Constance. I am on IG as Dr. Constance. We do have an email that you can reach me at any time. If you just want to personally email me and say, hey, Dr. Constance, I'm going through this, that email is collectiveconversationsc3@gmail.com, right? And we have a Collective Conversations with Constance Facebook page. And a lot of times people don't want to voice what they're going through. You can email me. It'll be a good thing. Let's grow together.
Yes.
And what Coach Roshawn is referencing is that we are in a session of expectations,
Yes,
right?
we
And we're coming up on it on Thursday. And so we're learning to grow together. I would love for you guys to reach out. And especially those of you that are sort of shy and like, dang, I really want to ask her this. I'll help you. And then I'm going to send you on over there to the coach and let her help you, right? They give me and you a reason to get to California the next time we do
Yes.
this. But I want to say thank you so much, Coach Roshawn, for having me. I want to say this last thing because I had asked the Lord when I was trying to prepare my nerves and mental for this session, and the Lord kept bringing me back to 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, right? And I just want to read that as my closeout because it's important that we didn't touch on it tonight, but it's important that with this burnout, we add forgiveness to that equation.
Oh, yes.
We need to learn to forgive our mates. And I'm not talking about for the big stuff. I'm talking about for stuff like he didn't take out the trash. He forgot or she forgot. Y'all, the little things. We just got to learn to forgive each other. But in this version that I want to read, Roshawn, of 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, it says, love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy or boast. It ain't arrogant or rude. We don't need to be rude to the people that we're in relationship with. It does not insist on having its own way for those that don't want to talk and don't want to listen. It is not irritable or resentful. Forgive me, Lord, for the times that I've been irritable with my own husband. He didn't know what was going on. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing. I don't want the worst for my husband. It matters to me the kind of day that he has. I don't rejoice over things that go wrong with him. And for those of you that are in relationship, now you're in a covenant one-ship. So what happens to him or her, it happens to you as well. All right. And then it says, but we rejoice with truth. Love bears all things. Love hopes all things. And it endures all things. Now, in the NLT, verse 7 says, love never gives up, Roshawn. We're
Ooh,
never going to give up on each other. We're never going to lose faith. We're always hopeful. And watch this. We're going to endure through every circumstance. Every circumstance.
ooh,
So that's a journey. It's a process. It's a
yes, it is.
marathon. Yeah. So I want
Yes,
to
it
say
is.
thank you and your husband for having me tonight as your guest and for being so understanding about everything. It's been a divine
Yes, it has been.
encounter to meet you guys the way that I just did. I feel like I've known you and I just literally got introduced to you. I just met you. What's wrong with us? You know what I mean? So I
She's sitting
believe,
next to you in church,
I
girl.
believe in what you all are doing. And I
Thank you.
promise you, if people come my way with a marital question, because I know it's you doing it. I want you to make it. I've never been envious of another woman. I want my sister to make it. So I'm going to say, look, I can answer your question, but let's get Roshawn on the phone and schedule an appointment because I know this is what you all are doing. And it is a beautiful ministry. We got to quit losing people to just simple things of not knowing what it is that we have. So thank you guys for having me. And next time, don't worry, I'm coming to Cali.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But you ain't gonna sit up here and have me all teary-eyed in the last bit of this session.
Well, honey,
But
we ain't gonna cry tonight with your pretty self, but I just had to say, honey, I want my sister openly, publicly. This is for the women out there. We weren't even gonna talk about it, but since the Lord is nudging me, I want us to celebrate. I want you to make it, Roshawn. I'm looking at you in your eyes. I want you to make it more than I do. I want you to make it. I'm already bragging on you and your husband. I believe in what you're doing. I might even have to call you. Your brother might have to stay in one of y'all extra rooms out there. I don't know.
Oh, we got plenty.
I know, girl. Y'all got it going on. But I believe in you. I believe in what y'all are doing. And I don't care what the naysayers say. And I don't care how many people don't support what you're doing. The Bible says it was 99, but only one came back.
Yeah.
So I believe in what you're doing. And because I believe in what you're doing on every platform that the Lord allows me to be on, when that marriage subject comes up, Roshawn and Rob, that's the names that's going to come out of my mouth. So I honor you, woman of God, and don't even really know you. I honor you. And thank you for this opportunity. Now stop crying, girl, because I'm not going to cry, because my makeup artist, you see them eyes, girl?
Yes, girl.
Girl, ain't nobody crying tonight, honey. I can't mess up my makeup, child.
Don't mess up your makeup.
You're
but thank you so very much.
You're
Y'all,
welcome.
You in the midst of the whole community, they have seen a nice little moment here. I thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
You're
More
welcome.
than you know.
Yes.
Thank y'all for joining us in this session. Ooh.
Help my sister.
Thank y'all for joining us in this session. I obviously am so grateful. If you haven't chosen to follow us on Instagram, Facebook,
please, y'all,
or YouTube. And we are in the process of doing some other things in the midst of Marriage Evolves right now. And we will let you all know as soon as we get things into place, and you all will be the first ones in this community to be able to know what's going on. We also have a newsletter that you can sign up for. We send it out on a monthly basis. Sign up at marriageevolves.com on the website, and we will be able to give it to you. Yes. And we always say this at the end, Dr. Constance, and I want you to say it with me. We are two hearts, one team with one purpose. And in the end, you got it, girl. I love you.
You got it, girl, too. Love you, too.
Yes. And as we say in the end to our community, we are two hearts.
Two hearts.
One team.
One team.
With one purpose.
With one purpose.
Have a blessed night.
Good night, sis. Love y'all out there.